Hey, what's going on, guys? GoMegaGains here. Recently I've discovered that my coding bare minimum chess engine in JavaScript with the GUI inspired by the world's smallest chess program video seems to be like the most popular video on the entire chess programming channel, believe it or not. And that's the reason, that's one of the reasons motivating me to improve the initial version that we've been working on here. So this sort of a tutorial ends up with a working chess engine and a simple minimalist GUI to play with in the browser. So runs completely in browser, nothing else. But I decided to improve this slightly a little bit. So without further ado, let's actually go for demonstration, then through the code, and then eventually I'll demonstrate. And then eventually I'd like to share some sort of an ideas I have in mind regarding the future of this sort of a project. So without further ado, let's actually start. So here is the repository for bare minimum chess program in JavaScript, and by the end of this tutorial we did came up with this sort of a version. So it plays chess, but the cursor is not great here. Also, we can select these Unicode pieces, which is not really that brilliant, etc. So it plays chess. Yes, if you blunder pieces, it would definitely checkmate you, but it's not the case. So wasn't really that great. Also, the most tricky thing is that we actually can do some illegal moves, or then we could have just tried to cheat, etc. So it's really incomplete, to say at least. And another version, which by the way, another version that I'll show you is the initial one that was before the tutorial actually. So it has a little bit more options to consider, but still you can do weird moves, which is not really that great. And from the playing perspective, it's not really what I wanted to have. So eventually I've just finished working on this one, which is called BMCP version 2.0, and this is how it looks. So first of all, we have the highlighting for pseudo legal moves. I didn't do the legal move validation because the source code is very tiny and actually doesn't even allow doing this, bearing in mind the current architecture. But we can no longer do some illegal moves. Okay, we can do illegal moves, so we can do only legal moves. Okay, and it's much more pleasant to play now. So it doesn't have castling as the previous version, but again, like, this is dropped, as well as the impedance square, just for simplicity, for clarity. So that's the way to go basically. And yeah, so this is how it goes. So you can checkmate this program quite pretty easily. It can checkmate you if you're not careful. So this is how it looks like basically. But not only how it looks like, but also the code has I've been working on the code mostly, not on the appearance, as well, but mostly on the code. So let's actually have a look at the version 2 source code. So we go here to the docs folder, and here it is basically bare minimum chess program version 2.0. So this entire file results in running what you've just seen on your screen. It's not that big. It just has really lots of commentaries, literally commenting every single line of code. So it kind of serves the purpose of helping absolute beginners in chess programming to come up with their very first proof of concept chess playing program. So again, like the very basic, the very kickstart, something to kickstart with if you have no experience at all. So for the very beginners, I have many other engines way more sophisticated, and I've been covering them within the tutorials as well. But again, like, they are not that popular as this bare minimum one. So I think this also deserves some time and effort to put into. Okay, so after a short intro and this fun license, we have well, pretty same style. I've refined the commentaries a little bit, so making them a little bit more clean. So we start with the color encoding, typing, piece type encoding, then piece encoding, then board representation, various mappings to output characters to screen. So the idea is that it doesn't rely on any external sources. So these characters are the pieces are represented as Unicode characters. So literally, like, it's text. It's not a picture. It's just a plain text basically. So the idea is you can this is kind of like a self-contained stuff. And well, the move offsets, all this stuff is pretty the same. All the global variables it relies on. I do use global variables because it's just done for simplicity. I have encapsulation in my more sophisticated engines, but here I purely rely on this global variables. Not really that much. So the engine itself is actually the only function that takes the board position as an input and outputs the best move. Well, actually it outputs the best score, but under the hood it also associates the best score with this best user source score and best user target score. Not this one. This guy's best user source, best user target. So the entire engine is this, and this is it, right? So engine is really tiny. It's inspired by Micromax by Harmgerd Müller, and the most of code actually takes the GUI. Well, might not be, it seems so from the scroller perspective, but we had lots of commentaries up there. And these are the here we have the core functions that has been cleaned up pretty a bit. So the GUI function. So make user move. So the function that fires if you click on the piece, click on the board, trying to move a piece. With adding all of these highlightings, which were not available before. And regarding the highlightings, you might wonder that it's probably could be stripped for the bare minimum version, but I have a strong reason for having this pseudo legal move highlighted, and this would come clear just right in a moment. So the first function, yeah, just to handle the user input, okay, here it is. Then if the move is illegal, let's say you step into a check with your kin or trying to do some weird things, so this gets disabled and the move is taken back. Then the routine to make the engine move, and also it incorporates checkmate handling. It doesn't handle stalemates. It just, well, it actually does handle stalemates because of the scores, but anyway, the main idea is to handle the checkmate. So literally handling the end of game. If 50 roll move repetition or threefold repetition occurs on a board, it will do nothing. So this is dropped for simplicity and clarity. And the final routine is to print the board. So a bunch of specific parameters here to make this look and feel like what you see here basically. And also flipping the board is now available. And one new little tiny little feature which might be really interesting is that from now on this sort of an app has a very simple string query parameters API. Well, API is a little bit too loud to say about this, but anyway, so if we say like color and say equals to black and search depth equals to I'm not sure what is this search depth by default, but let's put it to 5. So it rotates the board, and now engine moves with the Y pieces, and the search depth is 5. And now we can play chess. Well, not the best ever move, obviously, but yeah, still we can play here. And already the position is getting tricky. Well, obviously nobody plays like this, but that's how the engine goes. And yeah, we don't have castling, we don't have in peasant, but we actually can play chess, and it deserves as the variant, as the chess variant, I believe this deserves to exist, especially for like learning purposes. So this is it. And let's say if we do the same, but let's say, well, depth 1, as far as this engine doesn't have a question search, it would most likely it would be just drop in pieces. Should be incredibly, yeah. I just blundered the queen. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. Yeah, so I didn't really test this, to be honest, but yeah, this is what happens. Yeah, it just drops the pieces. So now probably, yeah, so it says like he would have been better because he captures the pawn, but he loses the knight after. So yeah, this is the most weird mode. It's slightly better than the random mover, but again, like this, just to give you an idea that the search depth can be now set as the string query parameter, which is handy for the way how I use this app, and we're almost there where I'm gonna be describing that sort of thing. So this is it regarding the update of this version 2.0. What I like the most, to be honest, is this square highlighting for pseudo-legal moves. The way it's done is really interesting. You just have a look at the code. I hope you like how this is done. So yeah, this is regarding the standalone version. And now, just to give you an idea, that I did this project not because I wanted to improve my bare minimum chess program. Not at all. It's just, it did happen, but it's not the main reason. And now let's actually go to the main reason. So I've just started a new project that is called bare minimum chess program chess variants. So the idea is to use this sort of a simple code bare minimum app that involves both a chess engine, chess playing engine, and the GUI into a single product, basically. The very minimalist one, but still kind of playable. So here is the idea. So this is the draft of the web page. Well, I don't know. Most likely it will look like this. Just want to give you an idea. So you just imagine that we have many variants. Well, let's say I've been implementing Chinese chess xiangqi, and this is quite pretty sophisticated engine and the library of move validation, which is called Wukong. It's not a bare minimum program. It's it uses quite pretty sophisticated search with all the bells and whistles, and yeah, it also uses graphics and even sounds. I don't know if you can hear the sounds, but doesn't matter. So but I also want to have the CNC implementation in this sort of a bare minimum format, and not only Chinese chess, but also potentially maybe Korean chess. I was trying to implement Korean chess with all the rules, but that was a horrible idea, to be honest, because the rules are really kind of complicated in terms of implementation. I'm not just, I don't mean it's you know, like, I don't know, just for some reason I couldn't implement all the rules instantly, and then depressed me so much that I've just dropped the project. But I think that actually this is possible to come back to that project, but having the right as a developer, having a right to choose which rules to implement and which rules not to implement. So let's say the pass rule might be dropped, and that was one of the major issues I had, because it wasn't really that clear whether to implement pass as a part of a move generator or as the search routine, and that did affect the perf results, and that it turned out a complete hell. But anyway, so the idea is to have the same template but different engines. So that's the idea. And yeah, so here, by the way, how this works: play white and play black. Literally what these buttons do. So this is the iframe. So we just have a look. So this is just an iframe, which points to the location of the standalone version. I have a copy of this standalone version, and I also do set up the color, and the surge depth is default here. It was 5 before, but when I tried to test this on my smartphone, it turned out that it's slow as hell, so I decided to drop back to 3. However, this can be altered, obviously. So let's say if we just make it like play white, so you see like now the color is white, so we just go to play black again, like the color is black, so this is getting changed. And if computer is playing white, it makes the first move by default, so this is how it goes. So it just makes the first move, and yeah, here we go. Basically, here we go. So don't have castling, but yeah, this is how it works. So if I click button here, it just reset the game. Also, if I click on the variant, it would also reset the game. Also works on touch devices. I've been testing this on my smartphone with the Chrome browser. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the very old default Android browser I had in my phone, but that's around, I don't know, maybe 5 years old now. Not only this app, but many web resources are now working in that browser, so probably just might be dropped. And another interesting thing, so using this piece of code, we can actually embed this plain program into a third-party website. So I think this deserves a separate demonstration. Yeah, but before that, so for every variant, I'm planning to have 2 essential links. So the link to the source code, so the user can have a look at the source code and get inspired from it, just fork the code and work with it, and that's kind of it. And here is the link to the standalone version, literally where the iframe is pointing to, so the same version but the standalone one. And another interesting thing I'm doing here, so if you have a look at the page source, you see like I'm using the obfuscated version, and this makes the file really small, and I just like this. So this is how it works. So this is absolutely the same program, but I've been using the service called obfuscator.io, and this is the output it produces. So it's quite pretty nice, really. I really love how this kind of works. So what else? What else? Probably nothing here. So it's like in the obfuscated version, it doesn't really seem to take that much of a space. So most of the source code is literally commentaries and explanations. So yeah, now let's well, I know, and obviously as I usually do, I did put my email, so if you have any questions, you can contact me and ask those questions via email. And now let me just quickly demonstrate how this how the embedding works. So let's say I just create a test.html file on my desktop, open this with the text editor. So you just imagine this is a static HTML file from your website. So you just copy paste this piece of code, this iframe here. Well, you can specify the surge depth if you want, and the site to move. You can make some additional buttons like I did to actually manipulate this iframe internal attributes like the source basically. But the bare minimum version looks like this. You just embed the iframe, and you have this plain app being embedded into your website. This is it. It's quite pretty simple. So whatever page this can be done basically. Okay, so yeah, I think now this is actually really it. Yeah, I just need to answer some commentaries. Thanks for writing me commentaries, guys. That's really appreciated. So yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate this very initial kind of like a new breath, a second life for this bare minimum chess program, and hopefully it would give a birth to new amazing variants. So I'm not interested in variants like Crazy House or Bug House or this standard chess derivatives. Not really. I just can't see much sense in playing them, to be honest, but that's just a personal opinion. But what I'm interested in is historical variants, so like Chinese chess, CNC, well, possibly potentially Korean chess, xiangqi, which is the variant of CNC itself, maybe Thai chess from Thailand, chess from I don't remember. I remember the name of the variant Siruyin. It's called Siruyin, but don't remember where it's from. It's Burmese chess, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so really lots of interesting, exactly historical variants. Maybe even the Chaturanga variant, which is the grandfather of modern chess. So all that stuff might be on the cards, and like how it's different from Fairy Stockfish, you might wonder. Well, it's totally different because monsters like Fairy Stockfish do have the single engine, and they do complicate the code in order to support as many variants as possible. Now, what I do is absolutely the contrary, so I'm gonna be keeping a single source file for every single variant. So if you're interested in the variant, you can just fork it and use however you want. It's the source code is open, it's free, so it's not a big deal really. So you can use that however you want, but in order to bring this user experience, I think it would be really a good idea to have this single web page that would be allowing to play all the variants in one single place. So that's just the idea. So let me know what you think about this, guys. Just let me know in the commentaries below this video. Okay, so yeah, I just trying to think, did I say everything I wanted to? Yeah, it feels like, yeah. So I guess this is really it. Okay, well, okay guys, so in this case, as far as I have nothing much to say, basically, I think we'll just stop here. So feel free to explore the wonder world of the chess programming, and thanks for watching. Until the next time, and take care.